Hey, this is Dan, and this is a 1998 Bayliner Ciera 2655 model. I'm having some really weird hot water problems. Making this video to try to get the community to help me figure this out. So anyways, a little bit of history. So here's my hot water tank, and I'm a year into the boat, and when I bought the boat about a year ago, I tried the hot water for a short period of time. It seemed to work, and I've really never used it since. A few months ago, I thought what I had was a water leak. So I had water pooling in this area here, and I thought it was a tank. So what I did was I started to disconnect the tank and have a look around. As it turns out, the water leak was from the water tank. The water pump, the electric water pump that supplies pressurized water was leaking. So anyway, so in messing around the tank, you can see here that get my keys off my head here. In messing around the tank, you can kind of see from here that I busted this fitting here, okay, and I replaced it with a brass fitting instead of these white fittings, which I couldn't find. So I was thinking, well, maybe I posted this question before, and some people said that, well, did you mix up the lines? Well, no chance of mixing up the lines, because I never took this one off, only took this one off. Anyways, so here's a couple of valves here. There's one down here, this one over here, okay? Not really sure what direction the valves were supposed to be in. Maybe I mixed them up. I should have taken a picture or something. And it's kind of hard to see, but in between this valve here, this one up here, there's a hose that connects the two from here to here. I believe this bottom one is cold water. I believe this top one is hot water. As you can feel, this one's kind of cool here. This one's a little warmer. So anyways, so at this point, my cold water tank is full. The pressurized cold water works just fine. The pump works fine and all that kind of stuff. Now here's a problem. It's really weird. So I'm going to use my transom shower to illustrate the problem. So I'm going to turn the hot water on. Okay. Now it's cold. Now it's very warm. Okay, very warm. I can hardly touch it. It's very warm. Okay. Now it's cold. All right. So that's the problem right there. I get warm water for basically a few seconds, and then it goes back cold again. So what I find really weird is if I turn the water up just a little bit, like that. Okay. It's cold right now. And now it's warm. Now it's cold. Now it's warm. What the heck is going on here? Okay. Now it's cold. Okay. Now it's lukewarm. Cold again. Warm. Cold. And now it's warm again. Which is very weird. If I pull it at full blast, okay, it's slightly warm. Okay, now it's slightly warm. Okay, now it's cold. So it was warm for a few seconds, cold. Now it's going to stay cold. Is that going to warm up? Okay, it's a little bit warm. Now it's cold. A little bit warm. Now it's cold. Cold. A little bit warm. It's cold. Very, very strange. The only thing I can think of is that my hot water pipe, there's a cold water, hot water pipe. That pipe in between, I don't know why there would be a pipe in between the cold and hot water pipe. The only thing to think of is that the cold water pipe is coming, the cold water feed is coming into the hot water feed. And without getting into too much detail here, if I take this lever, as you can see, the bottom lever is pointed down. If I point it this way, all right, okay, nothing's gonna work. Okay, It's going to work for a few seconds. The pump isn't coming on. The water's warm, and eventually it's going to slow to a trickle, and it's going to crap out on me. All right. So the pump's not coming on. Now, if I leave the pump on, or leave the water cranked, leave the pump on. If I crank this to the bottom position, it comes on hot. Okay. Can barely touch it, so hot. So I guess that verifies the water heat is working. I'm plugged into shore power right now. And then if I crank it over right to the other side, exact same thing, nothing happens. All right. So you can see here that the lever is all the way, the bottom one is all the way to the port side of the boat. Now, same thing on the other one, the top one. If I bring it up, okay, no change, same, exact same, seems like. All right. If I bring the lever, if we bring the top lever this way, you can see that it blocks the pressure. You can hear the electric water pump turn off. Okay, and eventually it's going to trickle to a complete stop. And the water now is warm. So, don't know what's going on. So like I said, the water heater does seem to be working because I'm getting, whoops, turn this off. The water heater does seem to be working. I am getting hot water, but I'm not getting continuous hot water. I don't know why. So turn this back over here, and just to show you guys, I'm gonna let the pressure relief go, and I get a continuous stream of very hot water. So here we go. Let go the water here. All right, and the water is so hot that I can't even touch it. So you can see a continuous stream of hot water come out. This verifies I do have hot water in the tank. Alright, with water pumps coming on, everything's working fine. Lots of hot water, okay, in that tank, but only a trickle comes out of the pipe. Don't get it. I don't know what's going on. So the hot water's coming out. It's cooling down a little bit. Hot water's coming out. The water pump's working hard. And again, if I crank the top valve to the top position, it stops, or that position, it stops. Okay, if I crank it over to here, straight up, it stops, and then down to this end. Now it's starting again. Still very hot. And on the bottom valve, if I crank it to the 90-degree position, all right, still flowing. I believe this is the cold water supply. And if I crank it over this side, it completely stops. All right. So move this over to that position. Okay. And I'm still getting some warm water coming out of the tank here. All right. So I do have hot water in the tank. And someone please tell me why I don't have continuous hot water coming out of the pipes here. I don't get it. Thanks for your help.